Today, we become legends.
So ISHTAR has finally been revealed and she looks like an awesome addition to the Hunter roster. Let's not waste any time and jump right into her abilities. So ISHTAR's passive is Mark of Vengeance. After dropping below 75% health, ISHTAR marks the enemy god that most recently damaged her, gaining a stacking attack speed buff each time she basic attacks the marked enemy up to 4 stacks and 20% attack speed maximum. If ISHTAR gains a kill or assist on the marked god, she gains 20% movement speed for 5 seconds, and this passive has an internal cooldown of 20 seconds. So this isn't a crazy in-depth passive or anything, but will be useful in lane as it's almost guaranteed to mark the enemy at EC, giving you an advantage in boxing with the attack speed buff, and in teamfights she can use this against enemies diving her. Moving on to her 1, which is definitely her coolest ability in my opinion, this is called IMBUE Arrows and allows ISHTAR to gain enhanced basic attacks in 3 different ways while not being able to hit structures while this buff is active. You choose which of the 3 options you want by pressing 1, 2 or 3 after activating the ability in a similar way to Merlin's ultimate. Option 1 is Strike Shot that gives her a lobbed AoE shot similar to Sylvanas' auto attacks that hits all enemies in the area and deals bonus damage while having a crit damage reduction of 40%. This one will be useful for wave clear as it can hit all 3 archer minions at once, and if you can group up the minion wave, for example using her 2's mez, which we'll get to in a second, it could potentially hit all 6 at once with that bonus damage. This shot can also go over walls, which could allow for some crazy plays since basic attacks can't normally do this and you're not totally safe behind a wall versus ISHTAR. Option 2 for the steroid is Spread Shot, which is a 5-shot cone that sprays arrows. The center shot deals full damage while the side arrows deal up to 10% of your basic attack damage, and only the middle arrow procs basic attack item effects. So you won't be able to proc Kin Size or Executioner or whatever on multiple targets or 5 times on the same target, this only procs on the center shot. Since item effects only proc on the middle shot and the damage of the outer shots is only 5 to 10% of your basic attack damage, it's really important to hit that center shot and the extra damage on the sides will only add up to about 20% total. And the final option for her steroid is Storm Shot, which enhances her attack speed and fires fast shots which have extended range and deal 20% reduced damage, and have a 20% increased projectile speed similar to Griffin Wing earrings. This is great for poking enemy gods in lane or in teamfights using the extended range. Since you can't hit structures when using this steroid, you won't be able to hit towers from outside of target range using this. But let's move on to her second ability, Rolling Thunder. ISHTAR calls down 4 lightning strikes in an area, dealing damage to enemies. If an enemy is hit by multiple strikes, they get mesmerized for 0.75 seconds. By targeting close to you or far from you, similar to Yamoja's 3, ISHTAR can choose whether the lightning strikes come from you and go outwards or start far from you and come towards you. So other than that targeting mechanic, this ability is pretty simple and will be her main wave clear in addition to the strike shot basic attacks. The mez is fairly short and will be mainly there to set up follow-up basic attacks and abilities and not as a main form of CC really. Jolt is ISHTAR's third ability and this is her main movement. She dashes forward in a line, damaging all enemies. If she hits an enemy god, she roots them for 1 second and backflips off of them, shooting a follow-up bow shot that deals AoE damage around the target god. This shot counts as a basic attack, can trigger basic attack item effects, and can crit. So this ability is really interesting as it rewards you for being aggressive with extra damage and CC, while also having the added benefit of proccing basic attack item effects and being able to crit, which can enhance the damage of this ability quite a bit. You jump from the ground during the second shot of this ability and can dodge enemy abilities using this in a similar way to Lancelot's Mounted 2, which does add some nice skill-based gameplay. And finally, let's cover ISHTAR's ultimate, Blades of Retribution. On activation, she becomes CC immune and fires out 5 swords of light in a cone. Each sword damages and cripples enemies. The swords stay at their end destination and can be recalled to ISHTAR within 3 seconds, dealing additional damage on the return and stunning enemies that were hit by both the outswing and the return swing for 1 second. Enemies hit by multiple swords take reduced damage from follow-up hits. The swords can be recalled at any time after using the ability, even while using other abilities like her 3, so you can for example jump backwards off of someone using your 3, then recall the swords through that enemy and get the stun. But that's ISHTAR's full kit. She seems like a bit of an ability and auto-attack hybrid with a cool steroid that allows for multiple options to fit the current situation, with the AoE being good for wave clear, the spread being good for hitting multiple enemies in teamfights or in close range hitting all 5 hits on the same target for big burst damage, and the extended range and speed auto attacks being great for poking in lane or at the start of teamfights. The dash is best used aggressively for that extra damage and CC, but can be used to get away if necessary. She seems to have a lot of AoE damage, which can be really strong on an ADC that are typically more single target focused, and even has quite a lot of CC, with the root on the dash as well as the mez on the 2 and the cripple into stun on the ult. Let me know what you think of Ishtar in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.